Okay, I'll copy paste my procedure. Yeah, the procedure is done. There is no error in the procedure. Okay, I'll write my main begin display.
Set
Display.
server output.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll just finish off this then. Display, and anyway, I forgot the semicolon over there. There will be errors. Don't worry. I'll set my server output on. Set server output on. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll write my main over here. Okay, main is there. Begin display and copy display. Yeah, the names are fine. Okay. Oh, yeah, it works perfectly fine. We'll just check. So, what was the question? The question was very simple, to display I and j from which table? From class. So, let's just check the content of class. Select star from class. Yeah. 523, 550, 590. Okay. So it's come perfectly. Only thing is you need to do a bit of beautifications over here. Okay, you can put a few spaces and all so that you get I and J a bit different from each other. Okay, so this is the output. Just a minute. Okay, so all what I've done now is I've done a small change in my cursor, the same old cursor. I changed my select query. As you all remember, in your cursor, you can be using only the select query. You cannot be using anything else. Only the select query. I just did a small change over here. IJ, earlier I just simply had to display everything, all the I's and J's. Now I'm being a bit specific. I'm being a bit specific. I gave a small change where j is greater than 30 or whatever. I saved my code. I need to run the procedure again because there's a change in the procedure. I copied it. I come here. Copy. I pasted it. The procedure is created. I even run my main. Okay. Let's see. Select star from class. Okay, I do have 3 entries, out of which I do have a 23, which is less than 30. That will not be displayed. The remaining 50 and 90 will be displayed. Okay, just like I did changes over here. Only thing you need to remember is your cursor can have only select queries. You can write whichever select query you want using your own combinations and all that. Okay, and even you can decide which all you want as output. Imagine, you know I want only I want only I just simply write select I fetch only into I. Okay, and I don't display a j. You can be specific in what you want as the output, which means you will be getting only I. So as this is a very small table and I have only ij, things will work like this. But imagine you have a huge table. Select star from stu underscore details. Okay, look here. You have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fields. You have 8 fields. You can work on various combinations. Now, whichever combination you work, two things you need to have in mind. One is select query, you can give your own combinations. Only thing is, before you give a select query inside your cursor, run your select query individually over here. Like, look here. I have given my select query over here. Run your select query individually over here and check whether that select query is working perfectly. If your select query is working perfectly in your SQL Plus, very simple, put it in your cursor and then do the remaining stuff in your procedure. The second thing you need to keep in mind is the structure of the cursor. First thing is declare your cursor, open the cursor, fetch the cursor, close the cursor. And do not forget to give the exit. We have seen earlier what happens if you do not give an exit. If you do not give an exit, it will go into an infinite loop. Very simple. After these three, your cursor should stop. After row 1, row 2, row 3, you should make your cursor, the control stop, or else it will go on and on infinitely, and your SQL plus will hang for a long period of time. So to avoid that, I'm giving an exit. I will be giving an exit. Okay. So, and then your normal things. So two things you need to keep in mind. One is, I'll repeat, your select query should be perfect. Define your cursor, open your cursor, fetch your cursor, and close your cursor. Remaining everything will happen as magic, provided your syntaxes are correct. So, have a question. We'll do with our student tables. It is a huge table, right? Write a stored procedure. Write a stored procedure. Procedures, because you store it, you call it a stored procedure. Write a stored procedure to display the name and marks of all the female students. Write a procedure to display the name and the marks of all the female students. Okay. So first thing what we'll have to do is, okay, I'll just change this name. I'll write it over here itself. M display, select what all, S underscore name, then naming conventions should be exactly same as we have in the table. What all do we want? We want the name and the marks from STU details, name and the marks from STU underscore details, where what is the remaining of which gender of all the ladies, where gender equal to female, where gender equal to female. Okay. So first thing what you need to do is select this, copy it, and see whether your query is correct. Okay. So let's check. Dhanya, Devika, Tina. Dhanya, Devika, Tina. Anne has no mark anyway. Leave off Anne. Dhanya, Devika, Tina. They are the only females. And then Anne. Anne comes up because it is there in the table, even though there's no mark, because Anne is a female and she's there in the table. That's why Anne comes up. Anyway, we've got what we want, isn't it? So our query is perfect. Now, just do magics. So change the name of the cursor. What do you have? STU cursor. So look here, you have name and marks. So, I'll just rename all these. I have name. I'll just go for small things. I have two variables. I'll have a name variable and I'll even have a mark variable. So what is the type of name? It is in this student details table. I'm not very sure of the type. So, let it take whatever type it is there in the table. Okay. The same way, what student name, S underscore name type. Just copy this again. Student details, not S underscore name. It is marks.
Bold.
Yeah, I'll make it bigger. I'll change the font. Somehow this font came up. I think it's better now. Is it fine? Okay. So now we'll continue writing. you don't need these variables. Okay, you're beginning it. It is not mark class cursor, it is the mark cursor. So open the mark cursor, fetch the mark cursor, and then close the mark cursor. So your cursor business is over. Okay, fetch mark cursor into which are your variables nm and mk. So right, nm comma mk, exit when you reach the end of the record, mark cursor. Okay, what all are you going to display? You're going to display the name and the mark. End loop, close the cursor. It is M display. In your main, you'll have the M display, MDISP. Okay, so I'm done with my cursor. Now we'll run my cursor. Okay, my procedure works perfectly fine. Let me even go with my main program, my calling part. I'm having a problem, MDisp. MDisp. Okay, let me check. Oh, it's not MDisp, M is MDisp L. I forgot an L over there. Okay, so just run it again. It was MDisp L. That is why. Okay, so I got all what I wanted. Dhanya, Devika, Tina. Okay, Dhanya, Devika, Tina. That was exactly what I wanted. Now imagine you want one more variable. Let's say even you want the places from which they are. City. Very simple. If you want city more, you give marks, comma, city. But remember, you have an extra variable over here, which means you should have an extra variable over here. Because you need to fetch it. You need to store it into CT. Student details, city type. Here, you are fetching your cursor not into 2 variables, you are fetching it into 3 variables. And then your display portion also, you will need 3 variables, not MK, CT. So I'll copy this again. I'll come back here. So my procedure looks good. Let's do my calling part. Okay, perfect. Danya's from Kochi, Devika's from Alua, Tina's from Punjab, Anne is from Ernakulam.